Last November, I was scrolling through Twitter when I saw a video of Megan Thee Stallion performing at a Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta. She was on stage in front of thousands of people, twerking and performing her hit songs Girls in the Hood and Savage, songs with explicit lyrics, at a political rally for someone running to be president of the United States. I sat there watching it thinking, what does this have to do with policy? What does this have to do with the economy, healthcare, immigration, or any of the issues people actually care about? So I did what we all do when we're confused. I went to the comments, and they were split. Half the people were hyped, saying things like, "This is how you energize young voters." The other half were saying, "This is embarrassing. This is why we can't win elections." But here's what really got me. Megan Thee Stallion performed to a crowd in the thousands, an electric moment that dominated coverage more than any policy discussion. And I realized this isn't about Megan Thee Stallion. This is about what American politics has become. A spectacle, an entertainment product, where we're more excited about which celebrity is performing than what the actual candidate stands for. Now, I don't want to blame Megan for everything. She was invited, she showed up, she did what she was hired to do. There are many reasons a celebrity might participate in a political campaign. Maybe they genuinely care about the issues, maybe they want to use their platform for good. However, it has become a sort of theme for me. Every election cycle, I see more and more celebrity involvement. Concerts at rallies, endorsement videos, Instagram posts, TikToks, and I wonder, is this actually helping? Or is this making things worse? And sure enough, when I look at the results, when I see which campaigns win and which lose, when I see which messages resonate and which fall flat, it's starting to feel like Groundhog Day. The same strategy that worked in 2008 keeps getting repeated, but it's not working anymore and nobody seems to notice. People say celebrities have always been involved in politics. Warren Harding had Al Jolson in 1920. JFK had Sinatra. Reagan was an actor. This isn't new. Celebrities have platforms and influence. Why shouldn't they use it for causes they believe in? If they stay silent, people criticize them for not caring. If they speak up, people tell them to shut up and dribble. They can't win either way. And yes, that's all true. Celebrity involvement in politics has historical precedent going back over a century. Celebrities are citizens too. They have the right to participate in democracy just like everyone else. But here's the thing. There's a difference between a celebrity endorsing a candidate because they genuinely believe in them and a campaign being built around celebrity spectacle as a substitute for substance. Research shows that celebrity endorsements can increase voter awareness and even turnout in some cases. A 2019 peer-reviewed study found that Oprah's 2008 endorsement of Obama resulted in approximately 1 million additional votes for him in the primary. That's significant. But research also shows diminishing returns over time. By 2016, celebrity endorsements were far less effective. Studies found that younger voters, the primary target of celebrity outreach, were increasingly skeptical of celebrity political involvement, viewing it as inauthentic or performative. They'd grown up with influencer culture. They knew when they were being sold to. And here's the real issue. The over-reliance on celebrities has costs. Financial costs, significant money spent on celebrity events, strategic costs, campaigns that feel like entertainment instead of serious political engagement, cultural costs, the perception that Democrats care more about Hollywood than working Americans struggling to pay rent and afford groceries. Election postmortems consistently find celebrity campaigns mobilize people who are already going to vote for you, but they often alienate persuadable middle voters. The swing voters who decide elections care about their jobs, their health care, their kids' schools, not which pop star endorses which candidate. But I would like to remain specifically talking about why this trend in modern American politics is uniquely problematic. Let's stick to the celebrity question. There is no inherent problem with celebrities having political opinions. That is always going to happen. Nothing will change that. There are, I would argue, much bigger issues at play here. The first issue is this. From the 1960s through the early 2000s, Celebrity involvement in politics felt more organic and authentic. Perhaps this is looking back with rose-colored glasses, or maybe we just didn't have social media to expose every manufactured moment. But I also remember when celebrity political involvement felt like genuine expressions of belief rather than calculated marketing strategies. When Muhammad Ali refused the draft and went to jail for his opposition to the Vietnam War, that was real sacrifice. He gave up years of his prime earning potential and risked his legacy. When Jane Fonda spoke out against the war, she was blacklisted by Hollywood and called a traitor. When Bruce Springsteen supported John Kerry in 2004, it felt like an authentic extension of his music's themes about working-class struggle, not a campaign consultant's strategy. Then something shifted. Celebrity political involvement became professionalized, calculated, managed by PR teams and campaign consultants, part of the strategy from day one rather than an organic outgrowth of celebrity activism. Barack Obama's 2008 campaign was brilliant in many ways, but it also created a template that every subsequent Democratic campaign has tried to replicate. Treat the campaign like a cultural movement, get celebrities involved early, and often make supporting the candidate feel cool and aspirational rather than civic and serious. The problem is that only works once, and it only works when the candidate themselves has Obama's once-in-a-generation charisma and message of hope that resonated with the cultural moment. When Hillary Clinton tried the same strategy in 2016, it felt forced and inauthentic. When she went on the Breakfast Club radio show and said she carries hot sauce in her purse, clearly a reference to Beyoncé's song Formation, it came across as awkward pandering to Black voters. When she had concerts with major stars, it looked like she was trying to buy enthusiasm instead of earning it through her message and connection with voters. By 2024, Kamala Harris was following the exact same playbook in an entirely different cultural and political environment. She had Megan Thee Stallion performing at rallies. She had celebrity town halls and events. She had Beyoncé appear to introduce her, and media coverage centered on the star more than the substance. Do you see the problem? The strategy hasn't evolved to match the times. It's the same playbook from 2008, but the cultural and political landscape has completely changed. What worked 16 years ago doesn't work now, but campaigns keep doing it because they don't know what else to do. And here's what we've lost in this transformation. We've lost what politics used to be and should be. I remember the 1992 presidential debates, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, and Ross Perot standing on stage for 90 minutes taking questions from real, undecided voters in a town hall format. No celebrities, no concerts, no spectacle, just candidates explaining their positions and engaging with citizens. And it was compelling. It was democratic. It was what elections should be about. I remember the 2008 Democratic primary debates between Obama and Hillary Clinton. They would stand on stage for 2 hours and debate healthcare policy, foreign policy, economic policy in substantive detail. It was serious. It was informative. You learned what they believed and how they thought. Yes, Obama had celebrity support, but the foundation of his campaign was substance, and the celebrities enhanced that. They didn't replace it. Now, we get 60-second TikTok videos and celebrity concert clips. We get candidates doing trending dance challenges on Instagram. We get rallies that are indistinguishable from music festivals. The substance has been crowded out by spectacle. We've lost serious political discourse. We've lost the expectation that campaigns should be primarily about policy and governing vision rather than entertainment and vibes. We've lost the idea that voters should evaluate candidates based on their record and plans rather than on which celebrities endorse them. And perhaps most importantly, we've lost the hard work of democracy, the unglamorous, difficult work of actually organizing communities and building coalitions. Because while campaigns are spending money on celebrity events, there are people doing the actual work of democracy. And you'll never hear their names. There's a woman in Wisconsin, let's call her Sarah Johnson because I can't use her real name without her permission, but she's real, and her story is real. In 2020, She was a volunteer organizer working 80-hour weeks in the final months before the election. She knocked on doors in the freezing cold. She registered voters who'd never participated in democracy before. She had conversations on doorsteps with people who were skeptical, who felt left behind, who didn't trust politicians, real conversations, not performances, not spectacles, just human connection and persuasion. She personally registered over 10,000 new voters that cycle. In a state that Biden won by just over 20,000 votes, her work, and the work of hundreds like her, changed the outcome of the election, changed the outcome of the presidency, changed the direction of the country. She'll never get a headline. There was no celebrity at her side. No Instagram posts about her work went viral. Campaigns could fund dozens of organizers like her for extended periods. With the money spent on single high-profile events, they chose the spectacle instead. And there are thousands like her. Organizers in Pennsylvania knocking on doors in former steel towns, talking to workers who lost their jobs and feel forgotten. Organizers in Arizona registering Latino voters and fighting voter suppression efforts. Organizers in Georgia doing the unglamorous work that Stacey Abrams helped build into a movement. Not celebrity endorsements, but years of patient, methodical community organizing that registered 800,000 new voters and flipped the state. These are the people who actually change elections. These are the people who do the work of democracy. And they're often underfunded and overlooked, while campaigns invest in celebrity appearances that generate social media buzz but may not persuade swing voters. Here's what really bothers me. Celebrity political involvement has fundamentally changed how my generation thinks about democracy and citizenship. I'm in my late 20s now. I was 13 years old in 2008 when Barack Obama ran for president. I remember watching the Yes We Can Will.i.am video on repeat on YouTube. All those celebrities, Scarlett Johansson, John Legend, reciting Obama's words. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. It made politics feel exciting and important. Then I grew up. By 2016, I was 21, working 2 jobs while going to community college, drowning in student loan debt, and Hillary Clinton was having Beyoncé and Jay-Z concerts at rallies. And all I could think was, what does Beyoncé know about my student loans? What does Jay-Z, a billionaire, know about whether I can afford to go to the doctor? The spectacle that had seemed inspiring at 13 now felt insulting, like I was being talked down to, like campaigns thought they could manipulate me with shiny objects instead of addressing my real concerns. And I wasn't alone. My friends, smart, politically engaged people, became increasingly cynical, not because they didn't care, but because they felt treated like fans instead of citizens, like consumers instead of voters. I remember a conversation with my friend Marcus in 2024. He said, "I don't want to see celebrities at political rallies. I want to hear the candidate explain in detail what they're going to do about my rent going up 40% in 2 years. I want substance. I want to be respected enough to be given real information instead of entertainment." And he was right. Our generation grew up with influencer culture. We can smell inauthenticity. We know when we're being marketed to. We know when someone is trying to manipulate us through parasocial relationships, and we resent it. Now, I want to be fair here. Not all celebrity political involvement is bad. Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem to protest police brutality and racial injustice. He knew it would cost him his career, and it did. That's not performative. That's real sacrifice for a cause he believed in. Dolly Parton donated $1 million to help fund Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine research. She didn't make a big spectacle of it. She just quietly used her wealth to support scientific research. LeBron James opened a school for at-risk kids in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. He's providing real educational opportunities. That's making a tangible difference. These examples work because they're about substance, not spectacle. Action, not performance. Real change, not headlines. But here's what I want. I want campaigns that treat voters like citizens instead of like fans, that assume we're intelligent adults capable of evaluating policy rather than assuming we'll just vote for whoever our favorite pop star tells us to. I want campaigns that invest in organizing and outreach instead of celebrity events, that fund the Sarah Johnsons, the organizers knocking on doors and having real conversations. I want candidates who can inspire people through their own message and vision, not through borrowed celebrity credibility. I want a Democratic Party that realizes working class voters don't care about celebrity endorsements. They care about whether you're going to help them afford groceries and keep their jobs. I want young voters engaged because they believe in something real, not because their favorite celebrity posted about it. I want the kind of serious political discourse we used to have. The 90-minute town hall debates, the 2-hour policy discussions. And most of all, I want us to remember that democracy is hard work. It's not entertainment. It's difficult, unglamorous organizing and persuasion. It's knocking on doors and making phone calls and having conversations that change minds. And that's the problem with how campaigns use celebrities. When everything becomes spectacle, when every rally is a concert, we lose the substance. We lose the hard work of democracy. There are brilliant organizers out there, policy experts, community activists. They're doing real work. They don't get headlines. They don't get the big budgets. Because campaigns would rather invest in appearances that generate social media buzz. And we will likely never hear their names if we continue treating politics as entertainment and celebrities as our civic leaders instead of supporting the organizers and activists and regular citizens doing the actual work. I'll leave whoever is still listening with these words. If you feel disconnected from politics, if you feel like the system is rigged, you're not wrong, but that doesn't mean you're powerless. If you're one of those organizers doing real work without recognition, keep going. Your work matters infinitely more than any celebrity endorsement. If you're tired of celebrity theater and want something real, good. Trust that instinct. Act on it. Because eventually, this will change. The evidence shows celebrity-heavy campaigns often fail to persuade swing voters. Voters are learning to see through it. Campaigns will eventually have to adapt. And people will once again yearn for authenticity, for substance over spectacle, for leaders who can inspire without celebrity validation. People will want the 1992 town halls where candidates answered questions from real voters for 90 minutes. The 2008 debates with hours of policy discussion. The grassroots organizing that Stacey Abrams helped build in Georgia, a movement that registered 800,000 new voters and changed the state. The door-knocking campaigns that AOC ran, over 120,000 doors, knocked, no celebrity endorsements, just real connection with her district. People will want the Sarah Johnsons working 80-hour weeks in Wisconsin, knocking on doors in the cold, having real conversations, doing the unglamorous work that actually changes elections. People will want politics that treats them like citizens instead of consumers, like participants instead of audience members. The era of celebrity-driven campaigns is showing its limits, not because celebrities will stop having opinions. They won't and shouldn't. But because voters are learning that fame doesn't equal wisdom, that spectacle doesn't equal substance, we can build something better, something real, where political engagement is about participating in democracy instead of consuming entertainment. The celebrity politician complex taught us that fame and political power are the same thing, that attention equals persuasion. Now it's time to learn what really matters. The organizers, the activists, the citizens doing the hard work, the ones who never needed Beyoncé to validate them because their work spoke for itself. And I, for one, can't wait to see